In the headlines, Supreme Court upholds deregistration of 22 political parties by Independent National Electoral Commission. APC expects ranker-free consensus during National Convention. Nigerian Army destroys ISWAP camp in Borno, recover heavy weapons as insurgents flee. And on the foreign scene, ex-Togo Premier Hongbo to head United Nations Labour Agency. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in full. The Supreme Court of Nigeria on Friday in Abuja upheld the deregistration of 22 political parties carried out by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Delivering judgment in an appeal instituted by INEC against the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Justice Ejembi Eko voided and set aside a judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja Division, which had nullified the deregistration. Justice Eko held that the Court of Appeal on its own raised the issue of lack of fair hearing in favor of the 22 scrapped parties and arrived at a conclusion without hearing from other parties in the matter. The parties were among the 74 scrapped in 2022 by INEC following their dismal performance in the previous election. INEC had on February 6, 2020 deregistered 74 political parties for failing to win any political office in the last general election. And the Federal High Court in Abuja has postponed the delivery of a judgment in a suit seeking to sack the Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade and his deputy Evara Esu. The judgment had initially been fixed for Friday, but the case has been adjourned till April 6, 2022. The PDP, through its counsel, Emmanuel Ukala, had filed the suit before Justice Taiwo to seek an order sacking the governor and his deputy over their defection to the All Progressives Congress, APC, among others. On Monday, the judge had ordered 2 House of Representative members representing Cross River and 18 lawmakers from the state's House of Assembly to vacate their seats over their defection to the APC. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court, in a split decision on Friday, dismissed a suit filed by the Attorney Generals of the 36 states of the Federation, in which they sought the funding of state judiciaries by the federal government. In the lead judgment prepared by Musa Dettijo, but read by Sentus Nweze, the Supreme Court held that the Presidential Executive Order 10, issued in 2020 to shore up the financial independence of state judiciaries and legislatures, is unconstitutional. The suit, which challenged the widely accepted norm that states are to fund their courts, the plaintiffs argued that it is the constitutional duty of the federal government to fund the capital and recurrent expenditures of states' high courts, as well as their Sharia and customary courts of appeal. But the Supreme Court, in a split decision of 4 justices against 3, held that the responsibility of funding state courts lies squarely with the state governments. And the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the suit by state governors of the 36 states seeking to stop deductions of $418 million Paris Club refund debts. Justice Enyang Eko on Friday held that the suit was lacking in merit. The judge also held that the action brought by the Attorneys General of the 36 states was an abuse of court process and filed without locus standing. The 36 state governors, through their counsels under Ibrahim Ame, had asked the court to stop the deduction of $418 million from their accounts. The court had earlier refused to grant a request for an injunctive order restraining the federal government from proceeding with the deductions.
First, let's appreciate this case, given the volume of documents involved more than election. And his lordship has been able to come up with I think it's right. 2, the fundamental issue which was unable to address is the issue of abuse. Judgments of High Court, Court of Appeal cannot be invalidated by a collateral suit, and the court made that point. Furthermore, the court did not say that the Attorney General lacked locus to institute action of the government. He said in this matter, where the action of the government is at the center of the issue, that they could not come without the consent governors, and secondly, they ought to make the governors respondents so that they can be heard for their action was being questioned. Up by the authority, by their own appointee. They didn't dispute the actions of the government, they are challenging it. That's what we call incongruity. It doesn't exist that the criminal provision that enable them to come does not provide them the right to challenge their appointment. That's the point. And above it all, I believe that the tempers are high now on the side of Clinton. But when they come down to read the judgment, they will see that it isn't necessary. But if they decide to proceed, the law remains constant. It doesn't change my emotion or my sentiments.
Supreme Court says so. And notwithstanding the exhibition of freedom, we think that we'll look at the judgment. Because I'm hearing that for the very first time, that the Attorney General of the state, or 36 states, cannot complain about what is being done in their states by taking money from the coffer of the states. The judgment themselves, the states were not party. I'm wondering whether that is what our constitution says. But every day left, I'm happy that this is a court of first instance. There is also the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. We want to find out, and I commend his lordship, if there is no mistakes, there can be no further testing, sound jurisprudential but I commend him for the volume of work he was able to navigate this way. But we will talk to our clients and see the next thing to do. Because the money involved was not the charge, $480 million. It's not because it was. So we'll see what we can do. Speaking for myself, I'm not happy that the judgment comes everywhere. Particularly when we talk about local standard of Attorney General. Attorney General not having locals to challenge action, injuries to the states. It's good news.
Now to politics, where the All Progressive Congress, APC, says it is now set to conduct a rancor-free national convention, which outcome will be determined largely through consensus. Chairman of the Party Media Subcommittee and Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, gave the confirmation at a World News Conference in Abuja ahead of Saturday, March 26 National Convention. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Flanked by other members of the Media Subcommittee, Governor Abdullahi Sule says, though the party has gone through turbulent times leading to the convention, all processes have been harmonized and differences resolved with the intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari for a rancor-free convention.
President Muhammadu Buhari stated that APC was at a crucial moment in his life on a fast lane to self-destruct unless something was done. This was at the height of the APC's internal wranglings. President Muhammadu Buhari submitted that it was obvious that the fortunes of the party was in jeopardy, party administration was impossible, and consequently, an urgent need for intervention to immediately address further drifts and internal wranglings which may lead to total destruction had to be done. The President's charge on the task ahead was clear: an urgent need to maintain party cohesion, close ranks, and return our party to its winning ways.
He clarifies some knotty issues around the unity of the party, preference for consensus option, unity lists, refund to aspirants, among others.
Our first choice is always consensus, and we are still on that first choice. However, democracy demands that even our constitution demands, and the constitution of Nigeria demands, that if that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and look at the other options. But right now, that remains our option number one. On the issue of political appointees to the president, our delegates lists are actually statutory. There are delegates. So if you have a former president as political appointee, if you have a former senator as a political appointee, these are already automatic delegates. So let's not confuse the two. Just because being an appointee doesn't necessarily take you out of being a delegate. Because our delegates are classified clearly. Former president under our party, former elected this, elected that, party official, and the rest of that. I don't think anybody holding a political party office is actually right now a political appointee of the president or the governors.
A statement made by the chairman Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, alluding to division in the rank of the APC governors, reverberates at the conference, even as the governor denies holding such position.
Governor Fayemi was sitting when all the meetings where all this had been agreed. So when you said that, I was surprised. But then I just received a report that actually there is a refutal, by Governor Fayemi. He said he never said that.
But the president is well within his right to have a preferred candidate. But in our party, let him come and campaign for that candidate at the Eagle Square on Saturday. If his candidate wins, fine. If his candidate loses, well, he's going to have to live with it.
The acclaimed over 41 million registered members of the APC, stakeholders in the party, and other Nigerians are looking forward to a peaceful convention that will usher in a new set of leaders that will steer the affairs of the ruling party. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And retirees in the Southwest have vowed to vote against any governor owing pensions and gratuities in the forthcoming 2023 general elections. The Public Relations Officer, Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Southwest Zone, Olusegun Abatan, stated this on Thursday while briefing journalists shortly after a meeting of the retirees in Abeokuta. Abatan explained that pensioners in the zone are not well taken care of and the union would prefer to elect leaders who would understand and address their plight, adding that Southwest governors owe pensioners trillions of naira. He said salaries of workers were increased in 2010, but many of the state governors did not increase pension except Lagos and Ondo states. Meanwhile, landowners whose buildings were demolished during road construction in Oshogbo, Osun State capital, more than 9 years ago, wanted the state government to pay them compensation. The affected landowners staged a peaceful protest in Oshogbo, pleading with Governor Adeboyega Oyetola to pay them compensation without further delay.
Masalasi Gaji, Ajegunle, Old Garage, MPS, Railway Crossing, on the demolition of the houses when they are doing the major road since 9 years ago. We are asking for our compensation from the state of Osun government. So we are using this opportunity to appeal to His Excellency Alhaji Isiaka Gboyega Oyetola to pay our compensation since 9 years ago. He promised us that he's going to pay our compensation, that he knows everything. By the time he was the chief of staff to Aregbesola, he has known everything, and we learned that the federal government has paid the state government. So they should please pay all the landlords our compensation. We are all dying. People are dying every day. Yesterday, we just lost one of us, Alhaji Adekunle from Ilobu, which is also a landlord in Oshogbo, Ayetoro here. So we are using this opportunity to beg His Excellency Alhaji Isiaka Gboyega Oyetola to please come to our rescue to pay compensation to the landlord and landlady.
The reason why we are here is just to let the state government know that we are still expecting our compensation. Since 2012, nothing is paid to us, and we have been able to resuscitate the house through loan. We are still paying loan to those who help us to build the house, because without building the house, we cannot have means of livelihood. That's why we have to go into loan to see that we build the house back. That is why you see the houses are standing now. If not because of the loan, we wouldn't have been able to construct the house.
Now to matters of security, where troops of Operation Hatinkai have overrun a stronghold of the Islamic State West Africa province in Sambisa Forest. This is contained in a statement issued by Director Defense Media Operations, Major General Bernard Onyoko, on Friday. He said the troops, however, recovered various equipment during the operation, while the insurgents were said to have fled their camp following the operation carried out by the troops, codenamed Desert Sanity. Onyoko, however, enjoined the troops not to rest on their oars, but to use defeat as a springboard to finally defeat the insurgents and also keep up the fighting spirit. Items recovered from the fleeing insurgents include one main battle tank, one 155mm Bofors gun, one trailer, one 122mm gun, two 105mm guns, one mines-resistant ambush-protected fighting vehicle, one MOAG armored personnel carrier, and one MAC trailer, as well as a large cache of arms and ammunition. And the Nigeria Customs Service in Kaduna on Friday said it seized a truck loaded with donkey meat and 12 sacks of cannabis worth more than 250 million naira in just a month. Speaking with newsmen in Kaduna, the Controller of Federal Operations Unit, Zone B, Kaduna, Al-Bashir Hamisu, said the items were subtly concealed in 2,348 sacks and 126 parcels with a duty value of over 250 million naira paid. Listing other items seized within the period, including 3,700 sachets of tramadol and 460 sachets of D6 tablets. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, maize pyramid springs up. This and more after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Now we'll look at our top stories. Supreme Court of Nigeria on Friday in Abuja upheld the deregistering of 22 political parties carried out by the Independent National Electoral Commission. All Progressive Congress, APC, says it is now set to conduct a ranker-free national convention, whose outcome will be determined largely through consensus. And moving on to other stories now, the primary school teachers in Federal Capital Territory have finally ended their 2-month-old strike declared on January 26th. The FCT chairman, National Union of Teachers, Kubwa Chapter, Ame Baba, said the action to call off the strike followed an understanding reached between the union and 3 councils over their demands. He said the council's chairman presented templates about how to offset the teachers' outstanding payment arrears and promotion, while the FCT administration will take care of that of minimum wage. The strike action, which officially called off on Thursday, has affected teachers in 3 area councils of the FCT of Buari, Kuje and Kwali. Schools in the remaining other 3 councils have since resumed about a month ago, following a reached agreement between the respective councils and the teachers' union. And due to population increase and urbanization, maize demand in the country is estimated to increase an average of 3.2% per annum. This is stated at the unveiling of second maize pyramids in Kaduna under the Anchor Borrowers program. Fatima Saleh-Ladan has more.
These are the maize pyramids unveiled today. There are 30 to 50 tons of maize in a single pyramid, all produced by the Nigerian farmers under the program of the Anko Borowan of the CBN. The first maize pyramid was in 2021 in Katsina State. The Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, represented by the Director Development and Finance Department, Yusuf Yila, says Nigerians will continue to see such pyramids for other commodities through the program in order to ensure food security in the country.
The maize revolution was birthed over 6 years ago under the Anko Borrowers program, with the overall objective of facilitating food security by increasing local production of maize, safeguarding the activities of smallholder maize farmers, stimulating rapid economic recovery, enhancing rural livelihoods, increasing job opportunities through funding of smallholder farmers, and supporting private sector players through prime anchors, also to engage in backward integration for self-sufficiency and conservation of scarce foreign exchange.
The host, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, represented by the Commissioner of Agriculture, Garba Hussaini, says Kaduna, as an agricultural state, will always remain a key player in the agricultural sector of the country.
Kaduna State is the largest producer of maize in Nigeria. It is our strong belief and conviction that through agriculture, Nigeria will achieve food security, create jobs, social inclusion, enhance livelihood, stimulate growth of small and medium-sized enterprises. Kaduna State, as you are all aware, is an agrarian state, leading in the production of maize, ginger, and tomatoes, and major producer of soybeans, sorghum, cowpea, sugarcane, etc. It is a key player in agricultural transformation programs in Nigeria.
The Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Abubakar, represented by Northwest Zonal Director Agriculture, Tim Vintab, says Nigeria is not sufficient in maize production and had demand and supply gap of over 5 million metric tons. But now the gap is closed.
It should be recalled that before the event of this administration, Nigeria was self-sufficient in maize production and had demand and supply gap of over 5 million metric tons. However, with the support and intervention program of this present administration, Nigeria is able to close this gap and thus gradually paving way for export of maize to international markets.
Official unveiling of these pyramids as a genuine feedback to the present administration determination to lift many Nigerians out of extreme poverty and position agriculture as a business.
The total of 94.8 billion was shared to farmers across the country under the Anko Borowan program of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Fatima Saleh-Ladan, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, Overtake, is training 690 youth across riverine communities in various vocations. The training is organized to make the youth self-reliant. The report.
5 local governments in Kwara State, namely Baritain, Patigi, Kaima, Edu and Moro, are prone to flooding, which occurs nearly yearly. The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission is established by the federal government to cater for the interests of power-producing states. The states are Kwara, Kogi, Benue, Niger, Plateau and Kebbi. The 690 youth in Kwara are among the first batch of 5,000 youth across the 6 states being trained in this regard.
A few months back, we have distributed forms to all the communities living in the hyperdeck affected settlements and advise that youths that are ready to participate in the youth transformation program should be identified for us. and we are happy we got more than the forms we issued. In fact, that was why you saw the disagreement in figures between the state coordinator and the director of community relations. He struggled hard to make sure that we have to improve on the number we were given for Kwara. So it is no more 490, but 690 now. We are very careful in selecting trades that meant well for your communities, trades that meant well for your state, and trades that meant well for Nigeria and Africa. So that by the time you finish this training exercise of either 3 months or 6 months, based on the skill you have selected, you will proudly say that yes, you are now a man and you can fend it for yourself.
The youth population is an asset of a nation. They are the factor of national power that, if rightly utilized, can lead to a country's height of glory and prosperity. The program is meant to train 5,000 youths from across the 6 IPADEC member states of Benue, Kebbi, Kogi, Niger, Kwara, and Plateau states twice in a year within the period of 3 to 6 months, depending on vocation or skills the prospective candidates have chosen. The youth of today is our only hope for tomorrow. Hence, we owe them a sense of responsibility by guiding, nurturing, and showing them the right path.
And now a look at the foreign scene, where former Togo Prime Minister Gilbert Hongbo is on Friday elected head of the International Labour Organization and will become the first African to lead the UN agency. After 2 rounds of voting, the ILO's governing body elected the 61-year-old to succeed British trade unionist Guy Ryder, who steps down at the end of September after 10 years on the job. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.